It just keeps getting better and better and better every day. So one of the teachers who worked with me at Skies The Limit Tutoring, Brittany, I think her last name is D'Avino. Okay. I'm noticing that she's writing comments on some of my videos, and at first I didn't even know who it was. I'm like, I'm just thinking it's some random person in YouTube land, social media. But then she makes a comment saying, "Why don't you write a song about our time together at Skies The Limit Tutoring?" And I'm like, "That's Brittany. That's one of my old teachers." Okay. So here's the story, and it's facts, okay? So whether Brittany wants to comment on lies and BS, I'm going to give you the facts. I hired her alongside with a teacher, Maria. There was this other guy, Romano, which this guy turned out to be a complete criminal. Like, he stole, I think, one of our computers that had like software on it. I fired his ass instantly. That guy was a friggin' criminal. Okay, but then there was Maria and Brittany, two very, very intelligent, articulate, well-educated, and experienced tutors. Okay, so I loved them. I had a very bad experience with Romano, this guy, and they agreed with me. They hated this guy. They were like, "What a piece of garbage that he stole this computer from you." I mean, like, again, I try to treat everyone in my life with utter respect. This guy Romano was down on his luck. I was giving him advances constantly. I was paying him a weekly salary. I was buying this guy dinners. Forget about it. You have no idea how good I treated this guy. And my repayment was he stole the computer that had software, part of my curriculum on it, that I had to rebuy. So another thing I did when Romano stole this curriculum, I said to Maria and Brittany, I said, you know what I was thinking about doing? Rather than using curriculum, because I spent about $4,000 in Barnes and Nobles. I had like all of these different curriculums, from Barnes and Nobles. So I said, rather than, using all of this, I said, why don't we take these books and why don't you and Maria, this was the other teacher, Brittany and Maria, create, the curriculum yourselves, okay? Now understand, I'm paying them. You understand? Salaries. I'm paying Brittany a salary and I'm paying Maria a salary because we didn't have that many students at first. So we had a lot of quiet time. So during the quiet time, Brittany and Maria were creating the curricula. But let me be perfectly clear. I'm paying them for it. So in other words, it's not theirs. It's my curriculum. It's mine. I'm paying them for it. No different if you would pay someone to paint your house. So after the guy paints your house, does he own your house? No. You're paying him to paint your house, right? Okay. Same exact situation here. So it just got to the point. Listen, Brittany loved her job. She really did. And she was a great teacher. She was a great, so educated. So educated. I thought she was a beautiful person, beautiful inside and out. I had no problem with Brittany. I had no problem with Maria. And I think I treated them well. I paid them, I think, respectfully for their time. And, Maria, was even more closer to me than Brittany was. Maria, forget about it. I would take Maria out and her family, her granddaughter and my daughter became best friends. I used to take her out for dinners. I hired times Maria to watch my kids. She was a babysitter when me and my wife, we had date nights or whatever. And I paid Maria can you believe this, to stay in my house. That's how much I trusted Maria. Maria became like my best friend. And I trusted her to, watch because you have to understand, we became very close, tight. We were working together. Her granddaughter and my daughter became best friends. She even would do dog sitting. Dog sitting, I would pay her for this. And I would always treat Maria for food. I think I might have treated Brittany a couple of times, but I admit the truth, I treated Maria a lot better. But I was still very, very nice to Brittany, and I still paid her very nice and very, very respectfully in terms of a salary. Now, this is the thing. It got to the point where we decided we were renting a beautiful house in Staten Island in Great Hills. Beautiful, beautiful house. I explained to Brittany and I explained to Maria, look, this is around the time when my wife's condition was getting, a little bad with her cancer, stage 4 breast cancer. This was around the time when she had what's called septic shock. She had this, it was the most scariest thing. Her temperature went to 105 degrees. I had to rush her to the hospital. I thought she was paralyzed. She couldn't even stand up on on her 2 feet. It was crazy. And her mother just passed away. My wife's mom, Linda, may she rest in peace. Now, thank God, they gave her antibiotics. They took care of her. My wife recovered. But it just got to the point, I said, you know something? My wife was devastated when her mother died. And she wanted to be close to her father, who lived in the next town that I live in. Her father, my wife's father, lives in Waretown. So it just got to the point where I said, you know what? Let's do this. Let's move. You know, at first we were looking at houses in Waretown, but it was more or less a retirement community. Barnegat, you know, was more or less, you know, where you could just buy a single family house. There was a lot of people our age here. At first I thought it was going to be kind of like this 55-year-old community and over. It turned out to be there's people our age on our block, and everybody's got kids. It's like kind of like Barnegat to me is like Brooklyn was growing up in the 70s and the 80s. Everybody here in Jersey is from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? And Staten Island. So I love it. I loved it here. I found the property, and I told Brittany, I sat her down, I sat Maria down in the office, and I tried to be as gentle and as a gentleman and as respectful as possible. And I said, look, based on the fact that I'm moving, you know, it's too far of a commute, I told them. For me to go from Barnegat and drive all the way to Staten Island, because Skies The Limit Tutoring was in Staten Island. It was in Great Kills and Boy Road, okay? I was like, look, it's going to be too much for me. So I said, I'm going to, you know, that's it. I'm closing the business. I worked out another deal with the speech therapist. They didn't know about that. That was a side thing. But long story short is that I just told her very respectfully, I'm closing the business. And she started crying, this girl. She started breaking out in tears and crying, and she started getting hysterical. And it broke my heart. I was like, what's wrong, Brittany? What's wrong? She's like, I love my job. I love it. How can you close it? And I was like, Brittany, I'm sorry. You know, I really felt bad, you know. But I'm like, what do you want me to do? I got to put family first. I got to put my wife wants to be by her father. You know, I got to worry about my wife's health. I want to give my wife and my children a better life. And I just felt, even education-wise, you know, Michael the education in New York wasn't working well for Mike, my son. And out here in Jersey, it's working great. I mean, my God, he's excelling so much in education. And my daughter is excelling in education. In Jersey, the education is the best. That's why you pay high taxes. You pay high taxes. So I try my best to just be as kind-hearted to Brittany. What could I do? You know, I said, you know, can I do anything for you? Can I help you? You want to know what the funny thing is? It turned out very bad at the end. My curriculum, all the work that I paid Brittany and I paid Maria for was stolen from me. And it cost me about $15,000. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking the Barnes and Noble's books. I'm talking about the work, you know, that they did themselves, and I paid them a salary. I was paying Brittany a weekly salary. I was paying Maria a weekly salary. And computer, software, cost me around $15K, $15,000, 15 big ones, 15 large. Stolen from me. I filed a police report. The police told me I didn't have cameras. There was no cameras in there. You know, I was renting the space from a gentleman, Frank, great guy, the owner of the building. And they told me there's nothing we could do. You have no video footage. Jennifer, you're never going to believe this. I'm making a video. You know who that person who was commenting was? I'm making a video. Brittany from Skies The Limit Tutoring. The tutor, yes. Can you believe it? Jennifer, can you just on camera, how good was I to Maria and Brittany?
Oh my God, too good, too good.
Okay, do you remember how I used to treat them? I treated Maria for dinner, her granddaughter.
Don't remind me.
And her granddaughter was best friends with Sophia.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if I did as well. Like, I know I might have treated Brittany for lunch here and there, I think. Yeah. But Maria was a little more closer to us, but I paid Brittany every week when business was slow. Now I'm trying to explain. I paid them for the curriculum. In other words, I bought all these books at Barnes and Noble, and they were putting together lesson plans from pre-K to 12.
Yes.
All of that was stolen.
Yes.
Can you confirm that?
Yes, they stole it.
Well, here's the thing. We have to say alleged.
Alleged.
I
Yeah,
will
alleged, right.
I will say this. I found out through a source. One of my students called me
Yes.
and confirmed Maria was teaching a private lesson with the student because they called me, and I still thought it was kind of messed up that they would, because she tried to justify it was rich. They've been taking lessons from Maria for a long time, and that my daughter is comfortable with Maria. I'm sorry, Rich. You closed the business. I still want to work with Maria. So I was a little upset at the customer, but I kind of understood it. I'm like, they developed a rapport with Maria. But the thing is, here's what I found out. Maria was using the curriculum that she definitely stole it.
Don't even get me started.
I'll say alleged, but it's kind of the facts, because let's put it this way. My former customer confirmed it to me. She goes, oh, we're using all the same curriculum that you used at Skies The Limit Tutoring. The only question is, did Brittany steal this as well? I have to say it's alleged, because I don't know for a fact, because we didn't have a camera. So, look.
Oh, she's on there?
What are you talking about? No, this isn't a live stream. I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video. So, here's the bottom line. I have to say it's alleged, but all I can tell you is this. I treated Brittany like a queen. To the point where she was crying hysterically when I told her I was closing the business, because she said she loved the job so much. She goes, I love it. And it broke my heart. And I was like, Brittany, I'll do anything. What can I do to make you feel better? Like I said, she was a very intelligent person, a very smart person, a very articulate person. And I never had a problem with her, but she went crazy. She flipped out. She went insane when I closed the business. But I had to put family first. My wife's mom passed away. God bless. I was talking about how you had septic shock at that time, which was an extremely scary thing. And my wife wanted to be closer to her father. And we decided to make a new life in New Jersey, the Jersey Shore. And I was very respectful to Brittany. And like I said, at the end, and I talked about that crazy lunatic Romano. Remember him?
Yes.
See, the only reason we hired that guy, he was a genius in math. The guy was like a friggin' genius, and I needed someone who was great with math, for like the hard math, like the trigonometry, you know what I mean, for the hard stuff. Algebra is not that hard, but like for the students that were doing the really hard math. So that's why I hired Romano. But like I said, he stole the computer with software on it that was part of my curriculum. That thief.
We ran into a lot.
I fired his ass instantly. And I treated him great too. I was giving him cash advances. I was treating him for lunches, dinners. Forget about it. Weekly salary. And I don't know. The guy just flipped out and stole the computer, and I caught him. I caught him red-handed because one of my students saw him do it. What happened was I wasn't at the office at that time. One of my students, because he was teaching the student, okay, he stole it, the computer, and the student came to me and told me, he said, listen, Mr. LeBoy, Romano stole your computer. I was like, really? You saw this? I said, I saw him. The apprentice, Donald Trump. I said, consider that severance. Get the F out of my office. You're fired. Okay? I pulled a Donald J. Trump move there. But as far as Brittany is concerned, look, Brittany, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know why you... Look, I'm an entertainer, Brittany. You always knew I had a sense of humor. I have a sense of humor. I have no idea why you're watching my YouTube videos, but I treated you great. I paid you every week. I did nothing bad to you. Brittany, you flipped out. When I told you I was closing the business, you flipped out, you cried to me, I never saw a girl get so hysterical in my life. It was like the worst. I gave it like the worst news in the world. Okay? No, that's not the worst news in the world. When your wife has stage 4 breast cancer, when my wife's mom just passed away from leukemia, acute leukemia, that's the worst news in the world. And what you should have understood, Brittany, is I had to put my family first. And I tried to be respectful, and I tried to be a gentleman to you. But like I said, did she participate in the crime of stealing all the curriculum? $15,000 I spent between salaries, computers, Barnes & Noble's books. $15,000 was stolen from me. Was it just Maria, or was it Maria and Brittany? And I actually put an article up there about them, because I said it's alleged, but you know what? I have a feeling in my heart, I think Brittany did participate in that crime. I think Maria talked her into it. That's my opinion. And you should be ashamed of yourself. If you were a part of that crime, you should be ashamed of yourself. And Maria, I can't believe how she backstabbed me. And you want to know what the funny thing is? If you weren't, the two of you, such criminals, again, I'm going to say it's alleged, because I don't know for a fact, because there wasn't video footage of it, I would still have worked with the two of you. I was telling Maria we could have did something, online. I was thinking about that at the time. I was thinking about switching Skies the Limit Tutoring to some sort of an online service, of which I would have continued to pay you and continued to pay Maria. But after you stole all that curriculum, I didn't want to start from the beginning again, and I just decided, F it. That's it. I'll stick to being an investor, which I am. I'm an investor, and as Brittany knows and Maria knows, I do well for myself. They always show me with tons of money. I do well for myself. I still have tons of money, Brittany and Maria, and that will never change. I have a $600,000 house. I got plenty of money. I'm doing very, very well for myself. And I hope you are too. But you know what they say? Stay off drugs and stay off crime. Now, I'm not implying you're on drugs, and I'm not implying you're a criminal. But all I can tell you is this. Someone was a criminal. I think it was Maria. I'm pretty confident, being I got confirmation from one of my clients. The only question is, did you participate? And if you did, and if you could live with yourself, so be it. So be it. Crime's not good. Crime's not good. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I can't believe. Can you believe this? Social media, it's like, forget about it. Everybody comes forward. Who knows who's gonna come forward next?